بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أوحي إلي أنه استمع نفر من الجن فقالوا إنا سمعنا قرآنا عجبا يهدي إلى الرشد فآمنا به ولن نشرك بربنا أحدا وأنه تعالى جد ربنا ما اتخذ صاحبة ولا ولدا وأنه كان يقول سفيهنا على الله شططا وأنا ظننا أن لن تقول الإنس والجن على الله كذبا وأنه كان رجال من الإنس يعوذون برجال من الجن فزادوهم رهقا.
And of course, many of the people who are into the New Age are into astral projection and in contact with these spirit beings. And there really are spirit beings out there. They refer to them as the Masters of Wisdom, or the Great White Brotherhood, or the Enlightened Ones. And they believe that they are guiding society. These are actually demonic forces and demonic beings. And of course, they can materialize and disappear. The average individual says, oh, that can't be true. And yet it is true. And when you talk to the people who are dealing with this, they come in contact with this many times. They have accessed this other dimension, which is truly a demonic dimension. And of course, tragically, it's becoming increasingly apparent here in America as we turn our back on God, and we're not really a secular society. We've gone from being a Christian society to a secular society, and now a society dominated by the occult forces, of which are intent upon ruling the world.
If it's true that the Roriks were in contact with the spirit realm, is it then possible that these same powers could have somehow influenced the design of the dollar bill?
And I know some of this is review for people that have gone through this, but I still think for people that don't know this, it's important to understand these things. This is a dollar bill, which is the now devalued dollar bill. And on the back of the dollar bill, there's a seal on this side. It's called the Great Seal of the United States. That's what it's called. It's their seal. Now behind the seal, this is actually what is behind the Great Seal of the United States, is a pyramid with one eye. Now the one eye is the sun god Re, which is where we get the word ray, sun rays. It is the sun god, same Mithraic character. And he shows up again and again. This is the Masonic god of the ray. If you look, you'll see the pyramid is built except for the top. It's built except for the top. The eye is suspended above the top. It hasn't come down yet. Because they believe until they've finished the Masonic project, which is the what they say on the bottom, Novus Ordo Seclorum, and then Annuetta Cheptis, he is pleased with our project. In other words, the God they believe in is pleased with our project. What is the project? This is the question. What is the project that this God is pleased with? The project is literally the secularization of the world. To completely strip the world from religious beliefs. This is the project, and that is why it is called Novus Ordo Seclorum, a new secular or worldly order. If you translate that into Arabic, it would be a Nizam al-Alami ad-Dunyawi, not al-Jadid. It would be ad-Dunyawi, the new temporal order, the new order of the world. And we know what dunya is in Arabic. Dunya has a negative connotation in Islam, unlike alam, which does not have a negative connotation. If you read the Quran, alam is not a negative connotation. Rabb al-Alameen, Allah is Lord of the Alameen. We are part of the alam. The alam is the passive form of alim. It's what is known. It is how we know al-alim. The world is how we know Allah. We don't know Allah through dunya. Dunya is the the illusory nature of the world. It's the gharura, it's the aspect of the world that deludes you, thinking that you're permanent, thinking that you can transgress, thinking that you're independent from Allah. This is the dunya.
Zionists do not, as they claim, represent the Jewish people. They like to claim they represent the Jewish people, but they most certainly do not. Anti-Zionism is not anti-Semitism. Authentic Orthodox Jews totally oppose Zionism. They sympathize entirely with the Palestinian cause, and they protest the wrongs that are done to them.
We want to say that whatever happens, if the Arabs will recognize the state of Israel, we as a Jewish people are forbidden to recognize even 1 inch of Jewish sovereignty. We are commanded in exile by God. We're not a nationalism. We are commanded by God that we're forbidden in exile to have even 1 inch of sovereignty, even if it will be handed to us.
وحرام على قرية أهلكناها أنهم لا يرجعون حتى إذا فتحت يأجوج ومأجوج وهم من كل حدب ينسلون واقترب الوعد الحق فإذا هي شاخصة أبصار الذين كفروا يا ويلنا قد كنا في غفلة من هذا بل كنا ظالمين.
The Saudi army of Abdulaziz ibn Saud conquered Mecca. And Abdulaziz and Sharif Hussein packed his suitcase and off he went. British took him away. And so Abdulaziz ibn Saud is now in control of Mecca and eventually Medina. It's a Saudi Wahhabi alliance. Does he claim the Khilafah for himself now? No. What he does is, as soon as he enters Mecca in 1924 October, Abdulaziz ibn Saud makes a proclamation, and they're going to hate me for revealing this to you.
The modern-day Kingdom of Saudi Arabia came into existence as a result of a rebellion against the Islamic Khilafah state. Britain sought to strike the Islamic State from within. Followers of the Wahhabi madhab by then had managed to establish an entity within the Islamic State, led by Muhammad ibn Saud and later by his son Abdulaziz. Britain supplied them with weapons and money, and they moved on a sectarian basis to seize the Islamic lands, which were under the authority of the Khilafah. They took up arms against the Khalifa and fought the Islamic armed forces, all the time goaded by the British. It was well known that Al Saud were British agents. The huge arsenals and equipments which reached them via India, and the monies to cover the war effort against the Khilafah were supplied by the British. They exploited the Wahhabi madhab with the aim of fighting the Islamic State and clashing with the other madhabs in order to incite sectarian wars with the Uthmani Khilafah. The followers of this madhab were unaware of this, but the Saudi Emir was fully aware. This is because the relationship was not between the British and Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab, but between the British and Al Saud. Al Saud's family reward for playing the most important role in this rebellion was to be granted by the British the position of future rulers of Hijaz. They had so much trust and confidence in their British masters and were so arrogant of their possession that they called it Saudi on September the 23rd, 1933, the only state in the world to be named after a family. Contrary to popular Western myth, it is the Saudis that are dependent on the US and not the other way round. The relationship is one in which the Saudi regime has no leverage over the US, while the US exerts almost total control over the regime, with the power to remove the regime overtly or covertly.